Welcome to my next video tutorial of CSS page layout. What I will be discussing today is overflow. CSS overflow. The CSS overflow properties specify whether to clip content or to add scroll bar when the content of an element is too big to fit in a specified area. This text is really long and the height of its container is only 100 pixels. Therefore, a scroll bar is added to help the reader to scroll the content. Example, just type a long text of 130 words. Then you will see what will happen inside that container. The overflow properties has the following values. We have 1, when the value is visible by default. The overflow is not clipped, it's rendered outside the element box. The next one is hidden. The overflow is clipped and the rest of the content will be invisible. And the next one is scroll. The overflow is clipped, but the scroll bar is added to see the rest of the content. And the next one is auto. The overflow is clipped, a scroll bar will be added to see the rest of the content. Take note of these ones. The overflow property only works for block element with a specified height. Take note of this one too. In operating system, on Max 10, scroll bar are hidden by default and only shown when being used, even though you have already set the overflow properties into scroll. What we're discussing about next one is the visible value of the overflow property. By default, the overflow is visible, meaning that it is not clipped and it renders outside the element box. You can use the overflow properties when you want to have better control of the layout. The overflow properties specify what happens if content overflows an element's box. Take for instance, for this example, you have a div with a width of 200 pixels and a height of 50 pixels, and while the background color is maroon and the overflow will be visible. The next one is hidden. With a hidden value, the overflow is clipped and the rest of the content is hidden. Just for instance, for this example, you have a div and the overflow will be hidden. Next one is scroll. Setting the value to scroll, the overflow is clipped and a scroll bar is added to scroll inside the box. Note that this will add a scroll bar with horizontally and vertically, even if you do not need it. You can set the overflow properties when you want to have better scroll of the layout. The overflow properties specify what happens if content overflows an element box. Just for instance, for this example, you have a div, while the overflow would be scroll. The next one is auto. To set the overflow property with the value to auto. The auto value is similar to scroll, only it adds scroll bars when necessary. You can use the overflow property when you want to have better control of the layout. The overflow property specifies what happens if content overflows an element box. Just for instance, for this example too, you have a div and the overflow will be auto. We have an overflow of X axis and the overflow of Y axis. The overflow X and overflow Y properties specify whether to change the overflow of content just horizontally or vertically or both. Overflow X specifies what to do with the left or right edges of the content. The overflow Y specifies what to do with the top or bottom edge of this content. You can use the overflow property when you want to have better control of the layout. The overflow property specifies what happens if content overflows an element box. Just for instance, for another example, you have a div with the overflow X is hidden. That means height horizontal scroll bar. This is a comment in CSS. Overflow Y axis, that is scroll. Add vertical scroll bar in the Y axis. This is to is inside the comment. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Thank you.